Chapter 833. As Alex was considering the issue, Emma asked impatiently, "What about you and Dad? Have you found any clues on Mom?" Alex looked at the pile of skewers and beer in front of him before he said, "We are still looking at many different mahjong halls to look for Mom. There are no clues on her whereabouts for the time being." Emma sighed before she said, "Then you can continue looking for her. Mia and I will also continue looking for Mom now." "Okay," Alex hurriedly replied, "don't worry, Dad and I will definitely work hard to find Mom." "Okay," Emma replied, "then let's hang up first. Give me a call to let me know if you have any clues at all." "No problem." When Alex hung up the phone, Trump was already enjoying his meat with a good appetite. Trump drank a glass of beer before he poured out a glass of beer for Alex. As he enjoyed the barbecued meat, Trump said, "My good son-in-law, no one will be bothering us today. Let's enjoy a good drink together. Come, let's have one shot first." Alex could not help but feel a little amused. The old man seemed to be really relaxed and relieved now that Elaine was missing. He nodded slightly before he said, "Dad, you should not drink too much anyway. Drinking too much is not good for your health." Trump laughed before he said, "I am feeling very refreshed and happy right now. I am hoping that your mom has already been admitted into an ATUA organization. Anyway, she will not die from a little suffering. She will only be stuck for about 3 to 5 years and we will finally be able to enjoy a short moment of peace." Alex nodded before he sighed, "I think that would be perfect too. However, I am afraid that Emma will not be able to accept it." Trump sighed and said, "That's right. Emma is a very filial child. She is simply too filial. But is your mother really worthy of her filial piety? You have no blood relationship with Elaine at all. So, tell me the truth. If your mother was just like Elaine, would you still be filial to her?" Alex was a little embarrassed and he had a melancholic expression on his face before he said, "If my mother was still alive, I am afraid that I would be more than willing to be filial towards my mom even if she had a worse temper than my mother-in-law." "Well, that's true." Trump was slightly embarrassed and he said, "I am sorry. Dad should not have said that. Why don't we use me as an analogy instead? You can obviously tell that Emma's grandmother basically has the same temperament as her mother. To be honest, the both of them are shrewd women and the only difference is that one is older and the other one is younger." As he spoke about this, Trump took a sip of his beer before he said, "So, you can say that I am not a filial son. My mother lost everything that she had but I simply refused to allow her to move into my house but I rather let her live out on the streets instead. Why? Because each of us have our own view and perception on what is right or wrong. You can't possibly protect and defend your own mother when she is wrong, just because of the relationship that you share with her, right?" Alex nodded slightly, "You are right." Trump sighed before he said, "Actually, you are already living a better life than me. At least, you married a good girl such as Emma. Even if you are not successful in life, she will never divorce you. If you are as unfortunate as me to marry a bitch, then you will be living a very miserable life now." Alex could not help but feel very sympathetic towards his Trump when he saw the melancholic look on his father-in-law's face. The old man's life had not been easy. He had a sweet first love and he was in a very good and stable relationship with his first love, but Elaine butted in and destroyed his life completely. That was how miserable his life was. At this time, Alex deliberately asked, "Dad, why don't you tell me some stories about your first love? I heard some of the uncles chatting about your relationship with your first love during your class reunion and it seemed to be quite legendary." "How is it legendary?" Trump sighed as he explained, "Nat Arya and I were planning to get married immediately after our graduation ceremony. It was rather difficult for anyone to go abroad at that time but since her family was pretty powerful and influential, they were planning to send us to the United Kingdom to further our studies after our graduation. the both of us were planning to get married immediately after we graduate before we left for the United Kingdom to further our studies together. As he spoke about this, Trump said angrily, "Who would have known that I would drink a little too much when all of us were partying before our graduation ceremony? When I woke up, your mother-in-law and I had already..." Well, Trump covered his face before he said, "Elaine is a very conniving and scheming person. She quickly told Nat Arya about everything that happened between the both of us, and Nat Arya was really angry. Unlike Elaine, who was very noisy and liked to cause trouble for everyone, Nat Arya simply wrote me a breakup letter before she packed up all of her belongings and left for the UK by herself. I have not seen her since then." Alex asked curiously, "You did not get to explain yourself to her at that time?"